Well, good morning and welcome to the chicken soup edition of Daryll Cafe. Earlier, YouTube was performing some site-wide maintenance, and I was not able to record a video earlier this morning here on YouTube, so I recorded one on MySpace. Now I just got home from some grocery shopping and a workout, and I see YouTube seems to be up and running again. So we're going to do the chicken soup edition of Daryll Cafe, because currently we are waiting for the chicken soup. Anyway, so I'm a little tired. I just had a bit of a workout, and well, also just had a shower, so I'm feeling a little more refreshed than I was prior to my workout and my grocery shopping. Anyway, so how's your day? It seems to be rather a little hot today, a little muggy, maybe a little air pollution going on out there, making it difficult for everyone to breathe. That's the trouble with the world today. Everybody's polluting everybody else. So it's making it difficult for you and I to catch a breath of fresh air. So with that in mind, let's take some calm, deep breaths, starting from the diaphragm. You breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And out through your mouth. And out through your mouth. That should make you feel a little more energized, a little more perky, if you will. And you should be able to breathe much easier now. So remember, you breathe from the diaphragm deep down in your belly, not up here in your lungs. You don't want to cut yourself short here. Breathe down below here, from the gut, from the bottom of your lungs. In through the nose and out through the mouth. I could do that all day. It feels great. I just can't get enough of that oxygen. So, with that in mind, we're still waiting for the chicken soup. It is cooked, but we still have to wait for it to cool down a bit. It's still on the stove. I just turned the heat off, and we'll give it about 20 minutes or so it'll cool off and won't be so hot. We'll butter some bread, and away we'll go. That's going to be our lunch today. Chicken soup. I don't know about you, but I find eating any kind of chicken soup whatsoever, whether it be in a can or a package, and for some reason it has some sort of psychological effect on me. It's like if you're sick or you got a cold or something like that, you know, you have a nice bowl or a pot of hot chicken soup. Either a can, homemade soup is probably the best thing for you. And you have a nice, you know, if you can't get the homemade, buy a can of chicken soup. Buy the mixed chicken soup where you just add the water and you boil it on the stove. That's what I have right now, because I bought a can of soup not too long ago. It wasn't chicken soup, but it was another flavor. I can't remember what it was, but the can had some air in it, and when I got it home I was so tired I didn't feel like taking it back to the grocery store, so I just left it on my kitchen counter, and by the end of the day the can started to expand even further. It was a can of lentil soup. That's what it was, lentil soup. The can started to expand even more, And eventually I got a little panicky, and I thought, if I don't open this can and get rid of it now, it's probably going to explode sometime in the middle of the night and go everywhere in the kitchen, all over the walls and all over the counter and everywhere else, and I'm going to have a big mess to clean up in the morning. Not to mention the shock of probably being awoken from my sleep. So what I did, it was one of those cans of soup that it has like a can of, it opened up like a can of pop, or maybe one of those old cans of beer, and it just, it popped open. And so when it did, being that it was full of air, and like a shaken up can of pop, it exploded, and I had pointed it down into the sink, so the majority of the contents of the can would go into the sink, but some did manage to go up on the counter and on the wall as well. So we had a big mess, well, not a big mess, but a bit of a mess to clean up. We had to, it smelled really bad because it was pretty much spoiled, the contents inside, and so we had to wash all that down the drain, and just chuck the can in the garbage and clean the wall off, and in the counter where it had sprayed a bit, and I started after that. I didn't buy any more cans of soup. I started buying just the packages of dry soup mix. I figured I'd be a lot safer just as long as the box wasn't open, instead of worried about exploding cans of soup or whatnot. You always you buy canned goods no matter what it is, whether it's a can of beans or a can of soup, a can of vegetables. I always check the cans and make sure they're not dented, or they're expanding with air, something along those lines. I check them, but sometimes these things slip by you when you're tired or you're not paying attention, and you wind up buying something that winds up exploding in your face, more or less. Just last week I bought 2 liters of 2% milk, and when I took a drink of it, or actually I poured, when I made breakfast the next day, I went to pour some on my oatmeal, and it all came out lumpy. And so I had to chuck the entire content of the 2-liter carton of milk into the sink, wash it down the drain along with my 3 packages of oatmeal. And after that, and since then, I've been buying canned milk, which I have bought before. If you take a can of milk, the kind you would use maybe for coffee or tea, and you empty it into some sort of pitcher, and then you add an equal amount of water to a pitcher, and you stir it up. It's pretty much the same thing as ordinary regular milk, but I still have yet to get a pitcher, and so I'm just sort of pouring it from the can onto the cereal and whatnot. It's a bit of an acquired taste because you're not having it in your tea or coffee, so it's a bit sweet, and it's got a different taste to it, a different texture. It takes a bit of getting used to it. I'm just starting to get used to it. Just lately, just today actually, I felt like this is not tasting as bad as it usually tastes, and I think I'm getting used to it. Anyway, okay, this being the chicken soup edition of Daryl Lorette's Cafe, we're going to call it a morning here, and wish you a good afternoon. And hopefully this afternoon, if YouTube doesn't do any more maintenance work, we will be recording another broadcast later on before we call it a day. So this is Daryl Lorette wishing you all the best, and until next time, have a good one.